Hi, I'm Andy Glass with WorkshopAddict.com. In our large cedar tongue and groove milling project, we had to sand a lot of linear feet of material. My old sander was due for a replacement, so I headed over to my local Acme and I picked up this Supermax drum sander. It's a double drum sander, model number 25x2, item number 913002. Now the dimension of this unit is 43 by 46 by 31, and it's extremely heavy and well built at 475 pounds. When this unit came in, there wasn't much assembly. It came in a very large box. All I had to do was put on the lid and I believe the handle, and that was about it. There's a couple set screws in the mechanism that raises and lowers the table that you need to remove, that locks the table in position during shipping. It was very easy to do. This unit does not come with casters. Casters are available with it. The 37 and 50-inch models do come with casters, but I grabbed a couple pair of casters that I had here in the shop, picked it up with a engine hoist, and then screwed some blocks on the bottom of the unit. That allows it to be nice and mobile. Where this sander is positioned, it's kind of in a line of tools. Whenever I need to use those tools or have a large in-feed and out-feed capacity, I just wheel the unit out a couple feet, put it in this nice tool alley, and now I have all the in-feed and out-feed I want. Being this unit is a 2-drum model, it needs a lot of horsepower to get the job done. The motor that's included with this is a 5-horsepower single-phase motor that turns both the drums at 1740 RPMs. The drums are 5 inches in diameter, and this is a 25-inch model, so they're 25 inches wide. The first drum comes with 80 grit sandpaper, and the second drum comes with 120 grit sandpaper. Obviously, you can adjust the grits to the desire you need. The drums are self-cooling to prevent overheating and increase the abrasive life. What's really nice about this unit is when you power it powers on both the drum and the conveyor. There's no separate 110 plug for the conveyor or the auto feed table. The conveyor table offers 100 inch-pounds of torque to move your material through the drums and get it through the machine. The table or conveyor goes 0 to 15 surface feet per minute, and that can be adjusted with the dial. The flatness of the table is 10 thousandths of an inch across the width of the table, so very, very flat. And the conveyor has IntelliSand, which automatically adjusts the speed of the table based on the load. So if you have it set at 50, but the IntelliSand detects that it's overloading, it will automatically decrease that down from 50. Now you should note that when you're set at a specific speed and IntelliSand kicks off, it will only go as fast as you have it set. So the faster you have it set, the faster it will go when IntelliSand gets kicked off. IntelliSand prevents gouging, burning, and damaging the stock, and it provides a constant finish throughout the length of the entire board. It increases abrasive planing and dimensioning. The unit comes with 2 4-inch dust ports on the top lid of the cover. Now they recommend 1100 CFM or cubic feet per minute of airflow coming to this unit. They also recommend 2 4-inch lines and not 1 4-inch line with a branch on the end. So that's what I have here. I have 2 dedicated 4-inch lines going to each dust port on the machine. The unit has a nice high visibility, easy to read, easy to adjust, easy to calibrate scale on the right side of the unit, right by the power switch for both the conveyor and the main drum of the unit. The unit has a nice large hand knob on the top of the unit that adjusts the table up and down. Being the knob is so large, it allows you to make nice fine adjustments and take very, very little off your material. A couple other accessories that are available for this sander are the sandpaper storage underneath the unit right by the motor. I do not have that. And then also the in-feed and out-feed tables. They are, in my opinion, a must-have. They're very easy to install, very easy to level, and they just provide a lot of support both on the in-feed and out-feed side, especially if you're working with larger and longer stock. It is an absolute must. Over on the outfeed side of the unit, there are a couple adjustment nuts that have included or built-in wrenches in there, and if you need to tighten the table, which you will, as the belt or the conveyor belt will stretch and loosen up over time. You simply use those wrenches and tighten out those nuts or loosen them out, and that will stretch the table, making that conveyor nice and tight. If we take a closer look at the dual drum setup inside the machine, the first drum is meant to have a little bit coarser grit sandpaper on it, and the secondary drum has a little bit finer sandpaper on it. There is a nice high visibility yellow scale underneath the lid that you're able to look at what drum gets what grit, and then the combination, and then also the rear drum setting based upon those grits that you have on which drum. Now the secondary drum has two adjustment knobs that allow you to raise and lower, and then also dial in the flatness both left to right. But what's unique about this is you can raise or lower that secondary drum to either work in tandem with the first drum, work all by itself, or take it out of the equation just by simply raising and lowering it. So that gives you a lot of options and the ability to have two different grits in there and maybe use them together or maybe use them by themselves independently, which is a nice feature. Another nice feature is a stop mechanism on the post next to the hand wheel. Basically, you can set that to a specific depth, and then when you hit that with the table or with the support arm on the post, you can't go any further. So on my old sander, the belt was exposed and it was kind of dangerous. On this sander, it has a very nice, well-built, well-formed belt cover on there, so that is a very good increased safety factor. Let's talk a little bit about why I went with a closed sander rather than open sander. An open sander doesn't have a second post on the side. So if it's 22-inch wide belt, it can technically sand up to 44 inches wide by simply rotating the stock and sanding the other side. I don't find myself doing that type of work very often, that wide of work. So a sander that is closed is a much better fit for me. A couple reasons is the open sanders are a bit tedious and finicky to keep calibrated and get calibrated. A closed sander, once it's set and dialed in, is pretty much spot on, and very rarely do you have to recalibrate it. We've had a whole bunch of cedar tongue and groove material come through this machine. We're very diligent on using the rubber clean off sticks or an old shoe to clean off that sandpaper during that process. Typically we'd run 6 boards through and then clean it off. Now it's very cheap insurance. Those rubber sticks are very affordable compared to the cost of sandpaper and the time it takes to change it. Now changing the sandpaper on here is very easy, especially if you buy the rolls dedicated with the cutoff lines. Now this is a 25-inch drum, so on the sandpaper that you buy, there'll be a corresponding chart with a line on the sandpaper. I believe it's the green line you cut, don't hold me to that, but you simply cut the green line to green line, and that length of sandpaper will perfectly wrap around the 25-inch drum with the 5-inch diameter. So it's not too big of a deal to change. One thing that was a big frustration with my older one was changing the sandpaper based upon the mechanism that held the sandpaper on each end. They've simplified that design, they've made it easier to reach, and it's a much more enjoyable task, less monotonous and less tedious. Again, we've had quite a bit of material through this unit. We are very happy with it. I enjoy the dual drum. I enjoy the ability to have 2 different sandpapers in there, and then also the ability to adjust that second drum up or down depending on my needs. On my older sander, I had a lot of vibration in it. This sander is very smooth and not a whole lot of vibration. Those 2 drums are spinning very fast, so you got to expect a little bit of vibration. This is a very large footprint unit, especially if you add the infeed and outfeed tables, and the kind of splayed or canted legs on here sometimes offer a tripping hazard. It would be nice if they came up with a less bulky base on there, but this fits my needs and I'm very happy with it. If you guys are in the market for a new drum sander, I highly recommend the 25x2 Supermax double drum sander. It fits our needs here. I'm sure it'll fit yours if it's something you guys are into. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below and I'll be happy to provide some feedback. Follow us on social media as we do project updates, product review updates, and exclusive social media giveaways. I'm Andy Glass with Workshop Addict. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.